You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Monday, April 22nd, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story of the day is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Monday. The first thing to know is oil jumps as U.S. is set to announce an end to Iran waivers. Oil soared more than 2% on Monday as media reports suggested that the U.S. was preparing to announce an end to waivers that allow some countries to purchase Iranian oil despite sanctions. The U.S. had granted waivers to 8 countries that purchased Iranian oil, giving them clearance to make limited purchases for an extended 6-month period. Iran's biggest oil customers are China and India, who both had been lobbying for extensions to sanction waivers. At 5 a.m. Eastern, U.S. crude oil futures gained $1.48 or 2.3% to $65.55, while Brent oil rose $1.81 or 2.5% to $73.78. The second thing to know today is Halliburton, Whirlpool, and Kimberly-Clark kick off a busy week in U.S. earnings. Halliburton and Kimberly-Clark are to release earnings ahead of the open, while Whirlpool is to report after the close at the start of what will be one of the busiest weeks in the first quarter reporting season. Lockheed Martin, Coca-Cola, eBay, Boeing, Caterpillar, Chipotle, Microsoft, Visa, Intel, and Starbucks will be among the week's highlights. Out of the 79 S&P 500 companies that had reported earnings as of last week, 77% had topped profit estimates on 5.6% growth, while 53% beat consensus forecasts for sales on 3.1% growth. That's according to Earnings Scout. The third thing to know today is U.S. futures were lower pre-open. U.S. futures pointed to a lower open on Monday in what may be a slow start to the week as traders drift back to their desks after the Easter holiday. Most major European stock markets were closed to celebrate Easter Monday. Asian shares ended mostly lower, led by a slide in Chinese stocks, which retreated from a 13-month high, as comments from top policy-making bodies raised concerns that Beijing will slow the pace of policy easing after some signs of stabilization in the world's second-largest economy. The fourth thing to know today is existing home sales and U.S. business activity is on the calendar. On the economic calendar, attention will turn to the state of the U.S. real estate market as the National Association of Realtors releases March existing home sales at 10 a.m. Eastern. Economists forecast a 2.3% decline after existing home sales surged 11.8% in February. IHS Markit will also release its preliminary reading for the Composite Purchase Managers Index, which measures activity in the manufacturing and services sectors for April at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. And the fifth thing to know today is the U.S. dollar dips and Treasury yields are steady. The U.S. dollar edged lower against the other major currencies in holiday-thin trade, while the Canadian dollar gained ground, boosted by the spike in crude oil prices. The U.S. dollar index was last down 0.14% at 97.01. The 10-year Treasury yield was steady, ticking up to 2.57% ahead of 3- and 6-month bill auctions scheduled for 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And we've got an earnings follow-up here. Kleenex parent Kimberly-Clark stock surges after adjusted profit and sales fall less than expected. Shares of Kimberly-Clark Corp shot up 5.4% toward a near 2-year high in pre-market trade on Monday after the parent of Kleenex, Huggies, and Kotex branded consumer products reported first quarter adjusted earnings and sales that declined less than expected. Net income rose $454 million, or $1.31 a share, from $93 million, or 26 cents a share, in the same period a year ago, which included charges related to tax reform. Excluding non-recurring items, adjusted earnings per share fell to $1.66 from $1.71, but was above the FactSet consensus of $1.54. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Monday, April 22nd, 2019. Your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great day.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.